Only thing that bothers me is the Judical girl is going to be more active. So, lots of self-talking again.
Well, we're used to that, aren't we?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
Also, something tells me this British judge is going to be very nice.
Oh, is this the one that introduces Herlock Sholmes?
Yep.
So who's going to be our...
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
So it's just straight up the Speckled Band from Sherlock Holmes.
As of January 6, 37 a.m. on board the steamship Burya.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle.
Is this one of the enemies?
A Russian word. So the victim was a
This
Russian,
one of them memes I've been hearing about.
suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Of course, he has to go anime on us.
This
Oh, wait a
was
minute.
placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
It's 60 hours of this, folks.
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant.
Oh, hey, it's
detective,
what's his
the only
face?
One in the world.
Oh,
Sherlock
Sonoda.
Holmes.
Yeah, right.
I presume you must have heard of me.
Or Hosonaga.
You're a Hosonaga.
My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. Trouble in the air.
They knocked you out.
Wait. I can't move. What the? Is he just gonna be convicted of murder for all of these?
He's Japan's most notorious mass murderer.
Why am I in handcuffs? Sorry you weren't coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's one of the Russian sailors.
Alright. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are true cold-blooded man.
You found me then.
Ah, we found you. And now you pay. Criminal! How long are you hiding that tiny wardrobe,
Sorry.
Now you have been found, it is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is,
No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Is it that? Okay, it's her.
Yeah.
Why did you do it? Why did you take his life?
Mr. Sato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma?
Oh, they're doing this again.
They're doing the thing again.
They're doing the thing again.
Ah, you pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses.
No, Kazuma's dead.
He's probably got to come back as a ghost. It's fine.
Suma-san was... Kazuma-san's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside.
His body?
Please. Do not try to tell us what you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. These handcuffs. Surely you don't think I
have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-san's life? Sama, answer me, please.
No. No.
So dramatic.
So dramatic. Big nose are just kind of dumb. Kazuma.
Wow, Rick.
Well,
insult his looks, huh?
It's just 2 short weeks ago.
Big noses, huh?
Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble?
Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else would you come to England with me to study?
Really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was gonna die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that.
Okay, I'm back.
I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Damn!
Hey!
That is savage!
Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
It's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians would be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikatoba, you mean?
From your close
her.
friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, Compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it.
Stop worrying.
After all, it's not like you're gonna get accused of murder again.
I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper?
What?
Then I could stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside.
Oh no. Only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together! And now he's dead. Can somebody else voice the sailor?
Oh,
We leave you at next port.
No,
Stay cool.
GC.
Oh, sorry.
You
Yeah.
already have, like, the judicial assistant, and you talking to yourself isn't as interesting.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Okay.
We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make trouble for yourself. Murderer.
No! I'm not a murderer!
You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right! I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... Murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
What if it just
Sasato-san.
gave you? What if it just gave you an option to confess, and that were the end of it?
Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too.
Lies. She looks like she's ready to destroy me.
Yes.
This nightmare is
I'm
getting
gonna-
worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened.
That was my suitcase.
He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? These handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer?
When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls.
What?
But then, how'd they get into the room?
Or to put it another way, the culprit could only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation?
This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Susato-san. You have to tell me.
Oh no, those eyes. The cause of death is still undetermined.
I don't know how he died?
The ship's doctors examine the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call.
So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then.
That's true, yes. I'm still mad at you, though.
Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Oh, so you don't actually have a motive for me. So why would you accuse me of that? Please.
What did we say? You were here in the cabin, after all.
Well, yes, I was, but...
Make it out? No. He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning.
Was she sweet on him?
I was waiting outside his cabin as I have every day for so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder?
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went and found a member of the crew. Crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-san, collapsed on the floor.
The white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
Wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe.
Okay, so, like, we saw Sholmes, like, peel the piece of paper off of the door. So, what would his explanation be for how the paper got there? If I was the only person in the room. Like, I managed to tape myself inside or something?
Rick, you're thinking too far ahead. We haven't gotten there yet.
It's all very hard to believe for me, too. Trust me.
I don't think that far ahead, because you're just gonna be struggling. You're just gonna have that point in your head for like the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, everything I know.
Oh my god.
So it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yeah, alright. My head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything.
Hey. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruto-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Yes. I'm afraid that's true.
My fists are pounding right now.
It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea. How could you have occupied Kamisama-san's cabin for so long without him noticing?
It was his idea.
No, no, no! That would have been impossible, obviously!
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you? But why?
I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself.
I don't understand.
Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
Because I love you.
The headband.
An idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself?
Yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that.
But I never really thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways.
Yes, yes, London's so great. The British are amazing. We all get it.
There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then
what?
Nothing. Forget it.
You're gonna be the Edgewood, aren't you?
No, he's gonna be the Deadsworth.
Oh, no!
Oh, Stoker.
Asuma-san he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little.
Your
Really, just
best
one
friend is
thing?
dead?
One thing, that's all?
The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before.
He knew someone was gonna kill him.
Sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean.
That and our love affair.
I know Kasuma-sama. I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yes. We're perfect, in fact.
What did we do last night? If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in the cabin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat just like he always did. Then I got myself into that wardrobe over there just like I always did. After that, I...
Now sleep?
Well, yes.
So deeply that you didn't stir when Kasuma-san was killed?
And, well, yes.
What were you expecting?
I know it sounds unbelievable. You know, eating, falling asleep. Really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it.
Masato-san,
Already
you
did.
have to believe me. I didn't do it.
She did something to get him in the headache, I bet. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this.
Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ah! I can't take this.
It's insane.
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right here under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied while whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen.
Well, what do you propose to do then?
We're gonna have a boat
I'm
trial.
going to investigate. Going to find out exactly what happened here. Going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me.
Oh, she has a pose.
What the?
That was a Susato takedown.
That's Susato what? What martial art form was that?
But she tossed him?
Yep.
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry, prove it.
Yes, you're innocent. I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to...
Upside down, and have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence, which I do not have because I haven't gathered any.
And you're upside down.
I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her
Literally
some evidence right now
stop
that proves
him.
I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Literally the only thing that I have. Paper seal.
She literally stopped him from proving anything.
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes, it was. Remember clearly.
I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case a cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Obviously, the world's greatest detective would have noticed that, but...
Yes, of course. The gentleman discovered you peeling that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
It's a double-locked mystery. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor,
Thanks for that, by the way.
I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
I was a Street Fighter champion. Didn't you know that? Huh. I made Chun-Li. Well, in the light of that event, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating here, at least.
Thank you. So you finally believe me?
No. I'm sorry. No. Ah! She did say
So
no.
what good are you? What?
I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of Kajuri trick to put the sign back in position.
I actually think I am a magician.
No, I am a cow. Okay. A goat. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh.
I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your Conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
It's conjuring.
Conjuring.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I knew how to pronounce that. What? Oh well.
Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here, examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death!
Dun dun dun.
The first thing is
That'll
the
be-
sword.
Oh.
We already talked a bunch. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes.
True, perhaps straight. I don't know about that.
Calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you... Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? That's just what a guilty person would say.
Yes. Even though you stowed away on the ship.
Told you it was his idea. Now you gotta bring that up, are you? I can't win.
Oh dear, that won't do.
Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly.
Ah, yes, that's not good.
I suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard. Are you Naruhodo-san?
I'm just showing you how to use it.
I'm sure you're going to look around using BM, aren't you?
What are you saying about my BMs?
Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Because your boyfriend's going to be...
Yes, let's do that already. That I was already doing. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now.
Remember, folks, no spoilers.
This is, yes. It's about cord, a contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really? That sounds almost magical.
Almost like, try me even.
Shall we give it a little try?
Yes. Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously.
I love how all the characters in this are just like basically just the same actors you would have seen. Like imagine if this were a TV show, it's the same actors just playing characters in the past from the mainstream Phoenix Wright games. It's hilarious to me.
So she has a descendant, I take it?
I suppose nobody comes from lowly Japanese people.
No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. Back mark?
Yeah, like, she has an equivalent in the modern day in the Phoenix Wright games.
Nice.
I think that's some kind of opening for the ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Isn't that a little odd?
She's a lot more mean than the modern version, though. What do you mean? Strict.
This ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find a way in when the seas are rough, or something like that?
I suppose. Maybe that's it.
Except... Well, I guess it's kind of hard to tell from how this is drawn, but it looks like there's like an overhang above the cabinet, and that's where like the ducting would be.
Yeah, it does look a bit like that. Good deduction.
It's 2 weeks since we set sail for Japan. Have you already been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, hey, we have a first...
days. Very fun.
Oh, no.
We have a first-time chat from a viewer called Story Killer. Hello, Story Killer.
Hello, Story Killer.
Heyo.
I shall boo you. Oh, well, I must have been rather excited making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. Last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what has happened out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not.
This is where dear Kasuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination.
It looks as though the last entry is incomplete.
Means... What, he was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened?
Oh, I wish they would do the Monty Python gag.
Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue.
Yeah! That's out of the question.
What?
Kasuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
This is a murder investigation.
No.
What if it's something important? Something relevant to the case?
No.
Alright, I won't read it.
Yeah, you dare not read it. Poor Kasuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
Yes. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Ah, yes. I see it says this way up. In Japanese.
Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen shouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Made me angry enough to kill him!
Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, maybe.
Less painful than a Sasada takedown.
This just makes me think of the stowaway from Oberdin. They hit it on a barrel and they died in like the first 30 minutes before they even left port.
Ah, we have another first-time chat from a viewer in here. This is Corvus the Wolf, who says they have always been a huge fan of your work, Rick Griffin.
Thank you.
Ooh. We're getting a lot of first-timers tonight. Welcome and enjoy the hugs.
The
Everybody's
books have fallen
here for
over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way.
And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? I've always fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once.
I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kasuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think?
I have an idea.
Seriously doubt it.
Then perhaps it was you, Naruto-san, in a fit of rage.
I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. The way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder.
Nah, it's probably unrelated.
They hit some rough waves. Everything got shook to one side.
Try it again. I don't like to see him best.
Naruto-san hit his head. That's why he was all bleary. And Kazuma also hit his head. But in a much worse way.
I mean, that would be a likely explanation in reality.
Yes.
I just wonder if that's quite this franchise's style.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Also-
explain why he would write
yeah,
a message.
That's definitely something you should not do at a crime scene. Are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
it's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
That sword isn't a weapon, is it?
Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide.
Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
Glass is such a beautiful color. Looks like a cute little net sucky fastener for a kimono outfit.
Not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he?
I don't know, how well did
And the
you know
monkey
him?
What is it, I wonder? It's sort of brick like you.
Yes, we're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink off the desk when he collapsed to the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
Suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. Did he even know Russian?
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san.
What? Then what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
Not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder?
Ah!
Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European.
Oh, how did he...
You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall.
I get that a lot.
Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Well, you know, except for the one who tried to accuse me of murder. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. Is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press space on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
Oh, please do.
Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Shh! This is a critical point in my investigation.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best.
Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long.
Yeah!
What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now?
I see. Fascinating.
Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me.
Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry? What?
And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in the most troubling predicament.
Oh. Well, that's true, at least.
What? But how?
How the deuce did I know that, perhaps?
He just pulled it out of his ass, you see.
It really was a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes.
Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you?
Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name?
I don't even see one person who fits the bill.
See, you're totally guilty, so it's true.
What?
It was you who did
Oh
this
my
together,
god!
What?
And are you plotting a revolution too? I knew it. It's shameful behavior, Naru Delta-san. Absolutely wicked.
She is absolutely Maya, just in the past.
Yes, yes, she is.
Ah, yeah.
And she talks to me again.
You're dead. Russian assassin. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous.
Even by the standards of this franchise, this is ridiculous.
And I'm glad. How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head.
Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not?
Well, yes, maybe.
Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Hmm?
Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation.
Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right.
I don't think you introduced yourself.
Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known as men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. Sholmes.
And he's been showing. So
There he is.
The actual
Sherlock
Sherlock
Holmes himself. Did you expect to get Herlocked in this game, Jonas?
The very same.
No,
the
Sherlock.
memorable,
No.
actual
JC.
Sherlock.
JC.
Yeah.
That's right. The very same. The inimitable actual Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
Do you know this man, Susato-san?
the most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san? Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. I was sorry about Jonas.
What planet have I been living on then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this?
Can't imagine he inspires so much confidence.
So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again?
Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes.
His name is
I see.
Encyclopedia Brown.
You're German? Herlock, was it?
No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Holmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Ransom magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then.
Indeed, I am.
And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective.
Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward.
Backward?
My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine.
You have a biographer, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London.
Dr. Wilson?
Yeah, I was wondering if that would come back.
But I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, at this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown.
Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form.
Science?
Really?
The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in this subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arch leaves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data.
Right.
And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago.
Can you look at me in the eye and claim that?
So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes.
Jonas, remind me to tell you the story behind the name Sherlock Holmes. It's actually crazier than you would expect.
Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet?
Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
When I became anxious about Kasuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. Ooh!
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me.
Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning?
Yes. But first, let's be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Yes, I understand, but what were they?
Allow me to elucidate.
Please do.
The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
How do you pronounce that?
Garderov, I think. Hold on.
I pronounce it wardrobe myself.
I think it's capital. I really don't know though.
It's like garderobe. A little rusty. That's
You're a
the
little Russian under rusty.
Yeah, thanks. That's just the Russian word for
garderobe.
Garderobe. Okay, thanks.
Garderobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
His blood was Russian from his body.
That was purple too.
Yeah, well, you know, that happens in Japan sometimes.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left the dying message in Russian?
In their final moment, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he?
Initially, I considered Garderobe maybe the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
I said that I'm Russian too.
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted.
Does he not know who the Japanese are and just is like, oh yeah, all East Asians are Russian?
Well, you understand Russian.
And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Ostensibly, he's talking in Japanese.
School uniforms are traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
You're dense.
I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details.
Love Susanna's fanboy girl.
This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered. Oh, Sholmes.
Oh, this was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed.
Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. May I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
What, pray?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that.
Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think?
Shit. Certainly if it interests you.
You're gonna have to learn the Cyrillic alphabet.
Easy, go ahead, roll.
I'll practice.
Look, just make up something. Just say okie dokie.
Konich? I don't know. Something like
He's saying,
that.
oh, that's wrong.
There, see? It's like that.
Guys, I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean.
Someone said he's an Agro? Okay.
The now famously accurate, troubling predicament you now find yourself in.
Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part.
Yes, the more sordid details, it was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
So, is Sholmes blind?
I mean, listen.
This vessel made a port of call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered.
That's Kazuma Russian.
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes concluded he was Russian because of what Kasuma-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary.
It's okay, everybody. In this series, sometimes everybody has to act like a complete idiot just so that they can get all the information out at a reasonable pace.
It's weird. One who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, violent Bolshevik.
No. How can it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face.
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
So you are just making stuff off the top of your head. Please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all these particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting.
Yes, because the guy would just admit that in an interview.
Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
What about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place.
Here, take the paper for yourself as a little memento of this great deduction.
Thank you.
I have absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record.
Sure, why not?
Also, I guess it's court record.
And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well.
The back?
Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret.
All written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two.
Yes, like in the old days. I like how her picture is very...
This is interesting.
You done something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no. I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it.
I'm glad you've noticed this article.
Ah!
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She's, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova.
Her Russian name's so hard to remember.
It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara that you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
Oh. How much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Yeah, that's like $300. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yes, I'm not
It
surprised.
was in. Hold on. Sorry.
Yes.
In 1905, it would have been 27,000 yen.
Okay.
Okay, so how does that translate into dollars?
How does that translate into modern dollars?
That's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
How's that translate into schmeckles?
Schmeckles.
Yeah. I got some schmeckles to spend. The adventure of the Schmeckled Band.
Alright, get out.
I like how Stoker wasn't even done with the sentence.
Jonas is used to dealing with my bullshit.
Don't know.
You don't know.
Hold on. What? Yeah, I'm just looking at stuff online.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all parts of the sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
Does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even
They're
going to
all
dignify that with its
Russian to leave the country.
Okay, we're looking at 972,000 yen by today, so about $10,000.
Okay.
That's a pretty decent chunk of change, I suppose.
What I'm reading is correct, which I have absolutely no idea because I'm stitching together multiple shoddy-looking online conversion things.
Miller, are you suggesting that you can't trust randos on the internet to get things right?
Yeah, it turns out inflation stats only go back to like the 1950s for Japan.
Interesting.
So I'm having to just assume it was 50 years inflation and then just do that a second time.
Before we start talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma. Yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Whiff.
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary.
No, that's
Kazuma.
me. That's me.
Oh,
That's me.
shut
Shut up. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Oh, of course what's going to happen here, though.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Susato-san, are you going to throw the detective within one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Henry, what is the nature of the writing? Pray, be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Okay, so I guess we're talking in English for this section.
Sure, why not?
But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
What was all that about showing off before then?
If you'd be so kind to show me, I would be happy to read for you, Mr. Sholmes. It'd be like a tutorial.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
Here, hold my hand. The final entry here in Kasuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
Whistling sound?
These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence
Sorry, I
reads,
like Souls Raptors. Like, so he knows it's Japanese and yet assumes we're Russian. How much drug are have do?
1:45 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Speckled band? What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring
The grill of the ventilator!
to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin.
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least.
Do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough.
You think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
A simple glance at your wrists should reveal the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No.
No point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
You must
And
be
that
joking.
was when
You just said
that
it only a
was when-
moment ago.
that was when Ryunosuke committed his second murder.
Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I wouldn't have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really.
So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Well, anyway, that was then and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate.
I was just being plain rude.
So
The greatest detective in the world, man.
So he's crazy. Okay, I get it.
And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for?
Huh?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Are you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can...
Yeah! Ah!
Is this your solution to everything?
After Kamo-sama-san spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
Ah! If you gave me any choice in the part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
Thank you for the subscription, Big McLarge Huge.
Ah, Big McLarge Huge! You any relation to Thud Runfast?
Situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. Bringing a real culprit to justice.
So, Chad, how do you like our Sherlock or Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
Precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his trip.
Suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here?
And not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. It meant all the more for me.
Oh no! Does that mean poor Kamo-sama spent his last lunch on the earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible.
She is just like Maya, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Perfect. Just my role.
Suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
She's just my type. The capes are off. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, on a ship. How unusual. Strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No, no, no!
Just don't flip me again.
Jesus Christ, lady.
Everything is nailed to the ship. Didn't you know that? Nothing could ever topple here.
Yeah, things are nailed down in ships. Things never go sideways and slide off tables and stuff.
All nailed. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. Just slides across it to secure the door shut. Still, if the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. No wonder everyone suspects me. She glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this.
Or maybe, excuse me. Alright, yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabinet's frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
She glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine.
Oh, that's just black magic.
I'll look over there.
The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he?
That's what I thought.
Why don't we try talking to him?
Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. Is that?
Wait a minute. Is something wrong in Naruhodo-san? He does look familiar.
I don't know, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir?
Yes, what can I do for you?
Yes, it is.
I recognize that face, but it can't be. They like doing this in these games too.
Yeah.
It is.
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. I'm glad he's here.
Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
That wasn't the tuberculosis, I swear.
I still can't believe that's unrelated to the poison after all that. I was so prepared for that to be the reveal.
Here he stopped, I hope. I was too.
People don't get TB for a reason. They just have it, okay?
No, that's not...
They never actually said it was tuberculosis. We just make that deduction. Like Sherlock Holmes.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship.
Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
Never expected to see this man on board.
Here to
Perhaps
be.
his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation.
I mean, he was so much help before.
So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry.
Hmm?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible.
He's gonna show up in the future. I don't believe it. Kasuma-san was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck.
Not on the first class deck. On those lower decks, though, they kill each other all the time.
Yeah. But with the rats and all.
I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result.
Well, cheer up, man. It's not the first time you failed miserably.
I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize.
Inspector.
So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word.
The word is Smebilok.
We're doing what we can to investigate Cosmo's death ourselves.
I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer.
Of course not.
He'd really like to investigate in the cabin next door.
Yeah.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. if you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door. That stormy-looking seaman over there would surely snap your neck in two.
I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well.
Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next-door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really. I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
But I don't see how.
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-sama. I presented you with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial.
Well, like you have a dozen times.
Just like the present trial. And choose some evidence that Inspector Suzunaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. See if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain.
The article.
Yeah, no, it would be the diary.
Oh, the
since he
diary.
mentions it.
Oh, yeah.
Man. The Speckled Band.
What's that?
It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Suzunaga wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilation grill.
A speckled band? That is strange.
Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin.
That's right, so if we could just investigate there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Or die to it. Game over.
All right, then.
Ding.
I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though.
But what about the captain? Are you going against his direct orders?
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you. First reasonable person we've run across.
Let's seize the moment in Naruhodo-san. Well, that's one thing we can count on this guy, to be reasonable. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out.
I like how they had to explain move to us. First of all, we're supposed to get out of this cabin. Hey, mousetrap.
Yes. Or a tiny catapult. Finally out of that cabin.
Excuse me.
I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. Less spacious out here than I thought it would be. This is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation steerage.
Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
Suppose. The people in handcuffs?
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please, don't give me that pitying look.
Aww. That man.
This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. Shows each deck, too.
The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skin hull. What a marvel of engineering.
Yeah, this ship is completely unsinkable.
Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
Archipelago.
Archipelago?
The islands of Japan?
Yes. They're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth many, many times larger than the ship. They don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them.
Floating's not quite the right word.
Well, I suppose so.
Oh, no.
I guess technically the tectonic plates float.
Yeah.
That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it.
Yes. That looks like the ship's log. Captain's log, Susato.
Shall we have a little look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment.
I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, Outside's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report.
Suspicious?
I investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place.
Doesn't even think about anything with that horn, huh? That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me.
I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that birdie sim was sure to shoot you dead. Bang.
He's so calm
dear.
about this.
I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there.
No, I started it with my talk of running away. There's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway.
Why'd you bring it up?
What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. That's how it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
This I have to see.
What are you doing all the time? You mustn't touch it!
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'll be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop. The ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait.
Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Cheese.
Wonder what that tastes like.
You can't eat it in Naruhodo-san. Trap will snap shut on your fingers.
Really? But, I suppose you're right.
But the cheese!
You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. Don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
Or you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Would you eat that cheese, guys, if you were starving? Yeah.
No.
First class cabin number 1. Yes, it's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-san's cat.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin steerage is number 539, by the way.
500
You know, if
and...
you-
How many cabins are there?
It's a big ship.
This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to.
Yes. The ventilator for which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Let's solve this
Man.
mystery.
I was said before, but does someone else want to do?
Oh, let me see.
I was gonna
You
do
know-
it.
Oh,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead,
okay.
Miller.
Go
You're
for it,
next
Mel.
in the lineup anyway.
Ryunosuke?
Excuse me, we need to get inside this cabin here.
The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out.
That's why I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective.
Doesn't look like he's going to let us pass.
That's a problem.
Oh, that's what we got evidence for. Okay.
Guess I gotta talk to him.
Not that. Excuse me, but could I ask you something?
You little stowaway murderer!
That look. Oh,
That wasn't a good start, was it?
alright. Let me try instead.
I'm gonna put you in a headlock and take you to WWE!
Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask you something of you? Are you ready to Macho Man Randy Savage?
You little third class ladies maid!
Oh.
Seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, says Hado-san.
I'm not sailor. My mother gave me a name. Alright.
Biff Stroganoff, huh?
I am senior crewman Beef Stroganoff.
The best thing is just avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area.
You're your first port of your steamship. For very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not able.
Thank you.
If I may, I was wondering, Is the cabin next to Mr. Asolgi's currently occupied?
Yeah. Or da.
Da.
Yeah, duh.
Da.
Duh.
No da.
Sasato-san, did you understand that?
It's not like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. No.
Genius.
It is not permitted to visit all the cabins without invitation. Must have invitation. Comes in tiny little letter card. Has red seal on back.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin, at least.
Yes. It's tantalizing.
Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is a very important Western gentleman.
Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder, student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man will have no interest in lowly students from insignificant Far East islands.
That was harsh.
Would you tell me where Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is not your business.
Come to think of it. Even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time. I never once heard anything from the next door cabin. Or even felt like there's anyone there.
Oh, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, it must be rather important. Is that right?
That is not your business.
I'm making it my business.
Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganov?
Duh. No time, so criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is said to be a student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Nyet!
Sasato-san, did you understand that?
It's clearly, no.
I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noises, or sense anything was wrong in some way?
I said no!
Sorry. Not so sure. Could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there.
This is enough. I can't say more now. I cannot say more now.
Oh.
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
Yes, alright.
Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely.
Gonna break a few bricks here, are we? Wait a sec, for a class ship. No. Something, sad face. Ah. Oh, I was gonna say.
Now, you can visit the gentleman's room.
This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, we know. Yes. The ventilator for which Kasuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask.
What could possibly go wrong?
Knock, knock.
No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying. What was that? Came from inside the cabin.
What high-pitched scream? It must have been a woman.
Stand aside. No.
Jonas, we need you.
I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped. When the fish is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick?
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief.
Daisy gave you first. Yeah, get it.
That's cabin number 2.
Okay, who's got him?
Ray?
I guess it's Ray's turn.
Sorry. Who are you?
Listen, gentlemen, this man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin.
You're giving me one of those Ned Flanders situations.
Yeah, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed?
Get down, all of you, now.
Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe.
Yes, that's me. And you are?
I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt.
No.
I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely.
The man uses that magazine like a business card.
A detective? I do not trust detectives.
We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So, might I be as bold to ask you to open that small traveling case? You could be in there.
What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that?
Well, if you break a few bones. Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk.
Look at me.
I mean, it could be a kid.
Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the case just shook.
Leave, now. Otherwise, I shall call the steward.
This is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. No doubt about it, this strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more.
Very
This is
obviously
a-
like a false spirit of some kind.
Early sailor returns. That
You have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes?
Anyway, we're just gonna ignore the guy who is trying to force us out of his cabin and just casually look around and investigate things.
it's sitting in his closet. Or
You need only address me as Sholmes.
That's what I just did, isn't it? Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there?
Why, I was resting, of course.
resting.
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that it would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh,
Then it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Say the game is afoot. Am I mistaken? Say the game's afoot.
No, actually, you're spot on for once.
Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something, you say, in earshot.
All the thing, by the way.
And do you know what the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret is?
Vodka?
Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians.
Right.
Can you imagine how the Russian would react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh, yes, please.
Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case.
I can't wait.
Could this man be a more hackneyed portrait of a dubious Russian, I ask you?
What?
From time to time, it occurs to me, is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness?
I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone.
That's right. And Mr. Sholmes, I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
Shush! I must have complete silence.
Dramatic zoom in.
What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that?
Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions.
What do you mean?
Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear.
Me.
Are you not?
Huh?
And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not?
Ah!
Oh, now hold a second. I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Shaw's great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction.
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. Not even you. In a single glance, he can deduct all there is to know about a person.
What? What an ineffable twaddle.
What a good curse.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've read about countless times of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deductions firsthand. I want to be just like him. It's like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the color is drained from Mr. Roylott's face. Looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are right.
How? How could you?
How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well, then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was I that arrived at this pair of conclusions. So, do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery? Let us board the trade of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The great deduction. The game is afoot!
There it is.
Makes that the thing.
Old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you spot. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai." As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Violin Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Conclusion: a revolutionary on the run. Top 2, wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see.
Ah!
And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. You can't even see his eyes. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that's a traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare.
No, I refuse.
What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein.
Don't be absurd.
It's a pet. I'm calling it now. It's a pet.
It's a
And
pet.
what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless Coupe d'Oil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. But there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can only lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Conclusion: kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. Elemensky?
Had fun with that, Rodas?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Kurt and Kyle Jonas.
Yes, Sasada-san. That wasn't one of the great detections I've been hearing so much about. Was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Can you come over here a moment?
Pray, what can I do for you?
It's about your deductions. Would you mind?
Not at all. Go on.
Well, to start with, there's a newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... These two men look nothing like each other!
Oh, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. At the same time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
It's just that was me, though.
In fairness to Mr. Shaw, Mr. Royla does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina.
Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear to be too small to accommodate a young woman.
Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose that Mr. Ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
I mean, you don't know? The young lady's 15.
No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, that's 10 years' worth of her would be poking out in the case.
That's a weird way to put it. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily to promote a certain litheness in their bodies.
Vinegar?
For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to consult oneself to the confines of that small case.
Oh dear, you might be thinking of tortoises in the circus, Mr. Jones.
This whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, something occurred to me about Mr. Shum's deductions just now. I think his powers observations were, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention, his logic, just a little off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Mrs. Sato.
It's just one or two key words his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering, if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some key words in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'll unlock the true genius of Mr. Shum's great deductions.
Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind.
What, you agree? This man has a lot of work.
At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. No!
Not that funny.
Ah, and you, my good fellow.
Sorry?
Take a moment to look at your wrists.
My wrists?
Where are your handcuffs?
Huh? How did...
I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction.
I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
I always thought I was a DC.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when you are finished.
I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this.
So, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Oh, here we go again. Oh.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Hold it!
So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport.
Easy.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure. Do you really do shears like that to cut off a beard?
Now that's something I'll never have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
Doesn't seem to be right with Mr. Roylott either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a keyword here, Naruhoto-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylet.
What if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on?
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better,
Then what?
then I'll leave the rest of your capable hands, Naruhoto-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this?
You're
Well,
the main
anyway,
hero.
let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Big hat. Copious beard. Golden locks.
That's something.
Alright, Rapunzel.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Because when he pointed to the article in the first place, the newspaper article, he said the front page, and he gave the question mark. It's like, oh, it's a back page. He's probably the lady in disguise.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
The princess.
The ballerina, you mean?
What the? What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No. The color's not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? How is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport.
Indeed. You've identified the precise details intending to expose.
Ah, now you're taking credit.
Such lush, golden hair certainly does not befit an old man.
You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair,
One still very much in her youth.
Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected.
And Ray uses that voice throughout the whole game.
The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of those magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary.
oh, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise. Naruhoto-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
How about you're in your element as you dance around the room deducting the facts with Mr. Sholmes? Or deducing?
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business. Not strictly...
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Not having fun,
Well,
but
anyway.
baka!
Let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true. Given that Mr. Roylet is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
Just the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best.
I'm sure you will.
And who could it not be? Who could it be?
Who could it be now?
The evidence that reveals her true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina.
That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. But now the prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name.
Yes, because your true identity is that of Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina.
Miss Nikolina Pavlova.
And then the scissors just.
Nice.
Well, I was very close to making that exact joke.
I thought for a minute there was going to be a freakout.
That is quite a glow up.
You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova.
Nina the ballerina.
But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Oh, we have to go here too, that's right.
Yep.
I completely forgot about this.
We're finishing
Now.
this part up, so before we can close for tonight, because we're in the middle of a thing.
Yeah, we are in the middle of a thing.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be done after this. Let's go.
Now,
Clearly, I
as,
kidnapped myself.
as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see.
Ah.
And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case.
This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well.
Oh, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
Which case? What is the crime that this young woman is apparently committing? You can see I'm going to have to step in and fix a great detective's mistake again.
Did you look pleased, Hoto-san? Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Shones?
Stop it! Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. That
Ah. Being behind the scenes.
wow! Look at this dazzling tiara.
I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh no, Hoto-san, try it on.
What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on?
Well, oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful.
Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently.
Yes!
Proof of your crime is surely this tiara.
Ah,
I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary,
The crime you have committed is theft.
oh no.
yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you.
Oh,
Ah.
crap. She got slapped.
Nizzle snap.
I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me.
The girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. Must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point to hiding it now.
Come, let us not be hasty.
What?
Oh, God.
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
I see where this is going. I'm going to shut up.
You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Nothing. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the content of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? You careless cooped owl. Cooped owl betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case, which is in the books on the shelf.
What the heck are you talking about?
Completely changed tack with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Strauss adapt his logic to changing circumstances, didn't he?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? That's a wild yes, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze at the direction of the bookcase.
Those are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Borea. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
There's exactly the same notice in our cabin, too. Wonder what happens if we break the rules.
Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhoto-san.
Beheading.
You'll probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean.
Keel hauling.
Or shut inside a tiny rojo for days on end, like what you did.
So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I?
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents.
As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Unless it's a small alligator!
Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is a small alligator. Finger snap.
The last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet.
Called it. Oh my god, she's dead!
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. So what is it? A dog? A cat? A chimpanzee?
Elementary.
Elementary.
Better be a husky puppy.
Aww.
Oh, that'd be
became
Elements.
But clearly you weren't who you said you were.
No, I am not Grimsby Roylott.
I think we've established that at this point. Herlock
Okay, we're gonna have to
Sholm,
figure this out next time.
ladies
Right.
and gentlemen.
I
The short version, I'm just going to tell everyone because it amuses me. The short version for why this happens, why this character exists, is the French novels about the gentleman thief Arsène Lupin, the same one who's supposed to be the ancestor of Lupin the Third.
Right.
the author, whose name escapes me at the moment, tried to incorporate Sherlock Holmes as a character into some of those and got sued by the Doyle estate.
Understandable.
So he was just like, fine, it's not Sherlock Holmes, his name is Herlock Sholmes. And
I'll have to look into that.
did that, and the Lupin the Third anime and manga decided to include a Herlock Sholmes character as a reference to that. And Ace Attorney games are including a Herlock Sholmes character as a reference to Lupin the Third.
Awesome.
So that's how we arrived at this.
Bit.
Good times.
Anywho, thank you all for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for watching us do some deductions.
Yeah, it was good.
And here, Joe, to steal the show.
That was a lot more time consuming, but also probably a lot more interesting than the way that they do the confrontations in the second and third Ace Attorney games, where you're supposed to unlock with your own deductions.
Yeah.
Oh, right. They have those locked
boxes
and yeah.
And what was it, like evidence gathering, going around town kind of stuff. And
I mean,
in
we're
the DS
doing
game.
that, but yeah.
They're making it more interesting, I know.
I mean specifically what like the special ability you have here is your special ability here is correcting Herlock Sholmes. So
Correct. Yeah, I still found that very amusing.
All right.
Until next time, dear reader, good night.
good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night, all. Night.